Never let you down, I'ma shine on sight. Keep your mind on your grind and off of mine's alright, right? Hard, I'm a ball on those squares. I float in $250,000 cars everywhere I go. I know in the lead it may seem me might be, but no matter what they doing, they don't do it like me. Like a G, I hold it down for the town I'm at.
Yes, we are back. Welcome to another edition of Urban Sports Scene. I'm your host, Ray Rogers, and this is the Barry Bonds of radio, because we getting bigger, stronger, quicker than ever. You know, we on iTunes, Twitter, YouTube, you name it, we there. We going to let y'all know later on the show, you know, where we are and how you can reach us. You know, we going to give y'all that email address as usual. But anyway, I'm joined as usual by my partners in crime, the well-dressed Will T. Shorter.
What's going on?
The best assistant coach in the nation, Wally Kenzo.
Hello.
And back after a one-show hiatus, you know, he was let go out of prison or whatever, wherever you were. Jeff Fish Walters. What's happening, dog? Oh yeah, that song was a dedication to him. Anyway, you know, there's a lot of star power on this set, man. We got 5 fantasy football championships and like 7 title game appearances, right? I'm serious though, but I mean, you know, we gonna see where y'all at out there, cause later on in the year we gonna have a fantasy football, urban sports scene versus everybody else out there. So anyway, but from these champions sitting right here, let's talk about another champion, and I'm speaking of the domination of Mayweather this weekend over Shane Mosley. What y'all think about that, man? I didn't actually see the fight, so I can't comment.
He did what I told y'all he was going to do. From the 3rd round on, he put his foot on the gas and he dominated Mosley. The first 2 rounds, Mosley looked impressive, but it looked like he turned 38. He looked like he turned from 28 to 38 when the 3rd round started.
Man, all I know is Mosley showed up with his 20-year-old son. If you got a 20-year-old son, you shouldn't be fighting anyway. But to me, the fight was pretty boring. I mean, it was only good for about 3 rounds. I mean, one thing I can say Mayweather did is he showed more aggressiveness in this fight. I guess as a preparation for if he fights Pacquiao, because all that defense is he's gonna really need some offense with that defense if he ever fights Pacquiao. But I thought the fight was pretty boring myself.
It just seemed when Mosley gave Mayweather his best shot after Mayweather didn't go down, Cuz was done mentally. He was just done.
Well, I also think Mosley kind of choked a little bit, because remember after the fight he was talking about he's tight. And I'm like, you're supposed to be a veteran fighter. How are you getting tight and getting nervous?
He fought tight.
Yeah,
I don't think he fought. Nah,
he fought tight
because he was all his speed. His speed and his hand and his hand power, man. Every time Mosley tried to put combination together, Floyd would pick him off, man. That's why the dude's one of the best, man.
He was bobbing around like he was slow.
That too. I think he also showed his age a little bit, but at the same time, Mosley should have realized that, hey, this is pretty much my last fight. I might as well go all out and do everything I can to try to knock Floyd out.
But I don't want people to, act like, you know, in terms of Mayweather, to be like, okay, you know, Mosley's old. That's why Mayweather dominated the fight. Mosley beat what's his cousin? Margarita. Mosley beat Margarita. Yeah. And he didn't look old then. He just fought a better fighter. That's the only thing.
I think that's true, but he did say after the fight that going for the knockout kind of drained him.
Well, the other thing was that Mosley kind of overtrained a little bit, because he wasn't even the original choice for this fight. Because remember,
he had 5. He was
supposed
5 weeks.
He was supposed to fight someone else. He was supposed to fight Berto, but because of the situation in Haiti, he pretty much had to stall a little bit. So he pretty much drained himself at his age and overtraining. I mean, you can see the effects of that right there. But as far as, you know, the fight, I mean, me personally, I thought it was a boring fight. But I also think that this fight also set up the Pacquiao fight. That this is a fight that I think everyone really wants to see.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, today Manny Pacquiao made some news. He came out and said that he's willing to, you know, do some blood testing as far as 14 days before the fight. I know before he was I think 28 days. Was that what he said before?
24 days.
24 days. What he said? Okay, yeah. He came out and said that. I think that's something that's workable. They can get that done. I mean, potentially that's the fight everybody wants to see in boxing. I think needs that. Which I think.
I think if Manny Pacquiao wasn't dirty, he would take the test all the way up until 7 days before the fight. But obviously, if you didn't have anything to hide, then you wouldn't make such a fuss over the drug test. Now, I'm not saying that Floyd Mayweather is the most moral person or anything, but you got to respect what he's doing, and he's trying to clean up the sport.
Is he? Or he's just trying to get paid or avoid a fighter? To me personally, you can use whatever drug in the world. At the end of the day, you need to know how to throw them hands, and that's it. So as far as whatever drugs Floyd thinks Pacquiao's taking, I mean, I think it's mostly a ploy to build up the fight even more. But at the end of the day, if you can throw some hands, you can throw some hands, and that's the thing that everyone wants to see right now.
Well, Floyd is really worried about his legacy, though. I mean, he really doesn't want to lose a fight. As we're going to talk about a little later, he thinks he's the best fighter ever. I mean, and he mentioned that before. He said, I'm not trying to go in here and get knocked out by anybody, you know, that is probably on drugs, juice, and he mentioned that in regards to Mosley as well.
Well, I don't want to get too far off, but the one thing that was getting me during the fight was how Floyd kept mentioning Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. I didn't know Hall of Fame was that big in boxing right now.
Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment, man, to be a Hall of Fame boxer.
When did they have the induction ceremonies? I mean, does he get a bust or something? I mean, is it in Canton? Where's that at?
He goes.
Where's that exactly?
It's in New York. It's in upstate New York. He goes in with the rest of the greats, man, like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard. You know, the dude is one of the best of his time. People make such a big argument that he hasn't fought anyone. But he's fought everyone that was in his. He's fought the people that's in his era and all the people that have been put in front of him. He's won 41 straight fights.
Well, that too. But at the same time, I mean, we'll see what Floyd can do in this next fight. But as far as Mosley, what do y'all think Mosley is now? Where do you think he's going to be at in his career?
Mosley's towards the end. He's toward the end of his fighting career.
Why would you say that?
I just don't. He's 38 years old. Now, granted, you know, he's still one of the top echelon fighters, but I don't think that at this point in his career that he can a lot of the youngsters coming up that he can win against.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think he's done. I think it showed. I mean, Floyd make a lot of people look bad, but dog, you know, Mosley, I think, is done. He got some contacts to try to make himself look a little younger, but his speech isn't there.
What's up with his nose?
Yeah, that Bama got all.
That nose is terrible. It's like squished in.
When did that Bama get all tatted up?
He got a nose job, man.
Nose. What is that?
He still got his curl though. That's a good thing. But he got all tatted up like he been locked up. I mean, what was up with that?
His wife took a lot from him, man.
Yeah,
he got divorced.
I know. That's why he's still fighting. But man, he should have did an OJ thing.
Well, anyway, we all consensus that he's done. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk like we've been talking about all along. Mayweather, who thinks he's the greatest fighter ever. Some people here think he is. Some people don't. We'll talk to you when we come back.
This is President Barack Obama. In the story of America, the greatest chapters are moments of challenge, when we see people serving their country and one another. Volunteers who step forward into hospital corridors and church basements, along levees and fire lines. And the next chapter is yours to help write. Sign up to volunteer at usaservice.org. That's usaservice.org. Let's renew America together.
A message from Renew America Together, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Brace yourself for the main event. Y'all impatiently waiting. It's like an AIDS test. What's the results? Not positive. Who's the best? Pac, Nas, and Big. Ain't no best. East, west, north, south, floor style greetings. I embrace y'all with napalm.
All right, we are back, and we still talking fights. We talking Floyd Mayweather. I had a chance last week, prior to the fight, to watch an interview with Jim Rome on ESPN. Floyd Mayweather had some interesting comments, and here they are. We're going to play them for you.
Floyd, it sounds like you're putting yourself number one. Would you put yourself in front of Muhammad Ali, Ray Robinson, ahead of guys like that?
I have to.
Why do you have to?
I mean,
why are you, for instance, instead of Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Robinson?
I mean, why Muhammad Ali and not me?
Muhammad Ali.
I didn't live in his ear.
Wait, are you basing that on are you basing that on pay-per-view numbers or body
work? I have to base it on pay-per-view numbers. Muhammad Ali fought Ken Norton. He really lost all 3 times to Ken Norton. He lost to Leon Spinks, who Leon Spinks beat Ali when he had 7 fights, and Ali never even threw no body punches.
Yeah, I think the only thing working. I think look, I think you're a Hall of Famer. I think you're one of the best. I think the only thing working against you in that argument is quality of opposition. You're unbeaten. You've beaten everybody put in front of you. But I think the quality of opposition.
Just because I'm Floyd Mayweather and I didn't lay on a punishment, there's nothing cool about laying on the ropes, taking punishment, and then coming back and fighting the guy. What's so great about my career is I went out there and done it in great form, in great fashion.
Now, I think
I didn't live in nobody else's
I don't think that you should be. You know what I'm saying?
I dominated.
No, I don't think you should be penalized. I don't think you should take 2 to give 1. I think you're a great defensive fighter. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if we're going to argue about the greatest fighter of all time, the one thing that would probably keep you from getting that spot is quality of opposition.
Okay, what's so great about those fighters back then? What's so great about them? That's not good and great about these fighters now.
I think that when we're talking about historically the greatest fighters of all time, Muhammad Ali,